welcome to Nature as a Resting Tool with Emma Blake Morsi, who is this wonderful person over here. For those of you who have yet to have met me, well, I don't know how you've missed me running around like an absolute, insane person. I'm Farah Ahmed. My pronouns are she, they. I am the climate justice lead for Julie's Bicycle. So this is going to be a really chill session because it's been a really long day. And what we're going to do is Emma's going to take us through a series of prompts, a series of gentle soundscapes, some lovely things to get us thinking about our connections with nature, to get us thinking about healing and rest and all of the beautiful regenerative things that we all need, because climate change and climate justice is hard work. So throughout the session, those of you watching on live stream, although it's much harder to interact in this kind of way, but we'll be putting up a series of prompts on Slido. So please do feel free to engage with those, and we'll be reading some of them out as they come through. I'll also be running around with a microphone for anyone who wants to have to offer any insights and reflections to any of the prompts as well. So please do make sure that you wait for me so that the people on the live stream can hear you. We really want to make this a bit of a mutually reciprocal thing, as hard as that is to do on a live stream. So I'm going to hand over to Emma.
Thank you so much. Hopefully everyone can hear me all right. I do tend to talk quite fast, so I'm going to make a conscious effort to not do that today. But I'm Emma Blake Morsi. I'm a 5'7", I'll claim it, black woman with clear acrylic glasses. I've got actually faux lock hair, which is kind of in a little high bun, and I've got these quite bright green trousers and a white denim jacket on. And my pronouns are she, her. I'm really excited to kind of welcome you all into this space. I'm very much going to talk through a lot of little hints, I guess, that Farah has given you, which is quite nice. And also, on the spot, that's a great introduction. Thank you very much. But I am a multidisciplinary...
What I need from the day.
So we're gonna definitely be doing a lot of healing and nurturing this today, for sure. I think it's something we could all deal with, to be honest. But I'm a multidisciplinary arts producer, so a lot of the work that I do is predominantly known as being a visual storyteller. So I work across photography, graphics, words, film, sound, and events. But I'm also the non-executive director of Rising Arts Agency, Bristol City Council's former culture board member, and I am a production and partnerships manager for Enviral, who are a Bristol-based ethical creative agency and brand consultancy. And actually, Good Energy is one of the sponsors for We Make Tomorrow 2022, which is actually one of our clients. So, full circle there. But this summer, I actually co-produced an incredible residential run by the Resilience Project, which was all about kind of training 12 young climate change makers and enthusiasts and activists into developing and delivering a program of 8 weeks peer-led resilience circles. So a lot of what I've been training as is around creative intersectional environmentalism following years in STEM and a creative agency, where my research consisted of developing a sustainable circular system that was predominantly repurposing waste substances. Just a bit of context of my researchy and creative background and why we're here. Because I then developed this program, which is called Nature as a Resting Tool. It's quite an experimentative experience, and it's really an experimental nature-inspired hybrid workshop that I developed for in-person and virtual attendees during COVID. It was part of an arts residency where we were really exploring provocation around how do you bring people together, how do you bring communities together following the extreme isolation we had been facing over the last 2 years, and as we opened up, and how can we take the real value of what we learned through hybridity and move that forward, and how can you use hybrid tools to do that. So me deciding that I wanted to really understand what it means to create an experience that isn't seeing access as a challenge, but really sees it as a creative tool and really sees it as a way to really play around with a lot of power dynamics that you often experience within an online and offline kind of environment. And so ultimately, because a lot of the work that I do is about empowering and connecting marginalised communities, although accessible for all. And so this work specifically was around how to support marginalised communities reach and connect with already existing outdoor local groups, really on the basis of understanding how to develop their own self-sustaining, well, not develop, but actually to help them actually tap into the value that they already have in terms of a self-sustaining relationship with nature, and how to really expand their own dynamics with that. And so really that ended up being kind of exploring the barriers, and then exploring the real multifaceted value that nature has to offer, and then how do we come together to protect it. So this playful interactive experience kind of combines mindfulness, it combines storytelling through activities that will inspire you to maybe rethink and engage with your surroundings. It's normally an hour and a half. So this is going to be more of a shorter taster version, and you can kind of expect to find moments of a bit of joy, a bit of adventure in the everyday, while forming some meaningful connections. So, what are we actually doing? So, what we're actually going to do is this kind of workshop we split across 3 key parts. I like to always start my workshops with a mindfulness soundscape. I think it really helps immerse ourselves into the outdoor world, especially when we look around. Not much of it around us right now, so we kind of allowing us kind of set the intentions of the space, but also to really set the tone for this nature-inspired experience, and then also recognizing that we're then going to have Lena went to play, but thank you, I appreciate it, you're on it, I love it. And so the main actual activity though will be, and I'll talk about when we get to it, but I've got a series of different photography prompts. That's with the assumption that maybe a few of us in the room will have something to take photos with, whether it's a little device. I do have some random cameras dotted, like little disposable cameras dotted around the room that I will talk about in a little second. But if it's by you, feel free to pick it up. And then there is, someone's found one. And basically you will have a prompt that I'll give you, and you'll have about 1.5 minutes to capture whatever the prompt is. The real emphasis on that, we don't want to capture the perfect photo. Really it's about thinking and the act of looking closely, kind of visioning the space for ourselves to explore, and then going on our own little mini adventures. And then we come back in between each prompt, and I'll have a question for all of you, for those online and for those in the room with us today. And so we want to encourage, for those who are joining us virtually, we're going to be using Slido as a way for you to engage and respond. Really it's going to be a way for you to kind of, respond to the answers or the questions, that I actually will put forward. And again, it's not that complicated. You'll be surprised at how simple and easy this will be. But really, then we're going to go off and I'll do another prompt for you to take a photograph of something, and we come back together, and then more storytelling, more sharing. And the idea of this really being that wanting to connect people with the idea of what it means to value nature, what it means to have our own personal connections, and also what it actually means to hear others and hear what other people's experiences are, and really breaking down those boundaries. And this particularly is quite exciting when you work with people who are from a real variation of communities or variation of experiences. But first, some general housekeeping. We are using hybrid tools, and we're interacting with virtual and in-person attendees, which for me is, my normal setup is quite specific, but we're being Julie's Bicycle have been gone above and beyond to make it adaptable for the general conference setting, so thank you so much. And we're going to be trying to use Slido as a function to allow those virtually to engage with us. The idea being that we'll actually hopefully be able to get some interesting conversations that Farah will also share whatever gets shared with us on Slido too. But also recognising that this is a taster, so this is going to be a shorter version than the normal one, but no less as exciting or as informative or at least engaging, and really wanting to recognise that because of the time management is on all of us. So when I say get back and sit in your seats, I really do need you to get back to your seats. And I'm sure you might want to capture so many gazillion things, but again, really embody that there's not trying to capture the perfect photo like we normally would with our digital phones. If I could give everyone a little disposable film camera, I would have. But I think it's just really important just to experience the playfulness of that and lean into that, and then come and rejoin each other to then have some real interesting, reflective conversations and dialogue. And whilst keeping in mind that when we go around and get you maybe to share your response or your reflection, feel free to also share what your preferred pronouns are, so making sure that we use the right ones for each other. And again, just to remind anyone who might have joined, mine are she, her. And last but not least, photography, consent. There are people in the room who may or may not have given consent for themselves to be photographed. None of these prompts are designed for anyone to be capturing people. So again, if you are seeing, if I say something, you're like, oh, so-and-so is wearing that exact thing. Again, consent, ask them first before you capture them. That's a really important element, and to make sure that we respect each other's boundaries in that way. And then that being said, like I said before, I really like to create a very intentional space. I think it's really beautiful to be playful with how we imagine nature, and so I've created this mindfulness soundscape to really take us on a little journey before we get into the prompts. So if you would like to play, feel free to close your eyes if you feel comfortable to. But I think I might, because it's been a hell of a week and I think I deserve to chill a little bit. So we can all just enjoy. And yeah, it's about 10 minutes, so get comfortable.
And close your eyes. We are going to start with a breathing exercise. Take a big mindful breath in. Hold. And deeply breathe out, letting go slowly. Take another mindful inhale as you connect with your breath. Hold it. Feel the sensations in your body. As you exhale, let your body aid your breathing as you focus on just letting go. Scan your body from head to toe. Notice if you're holding on to tension anywhere. Keep your awareness on that area and take a deep breath in. Hold it and stay connected to your breath. And now, see if you can release tension with your exhalation. Feel the heaviness melting towards the ground with the weight of gravity. Breathe in. Hold. And feel your body relax as you breathe out. Ask yourself, what is your definition of happiness? Sit with it, conjure it, savor it. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Now, imagine you walk into your local green space. On the way, you hear the sounds of the urban jungle, neighbours chatting, cars and busy streets. Once you arrive there, what colours do you see? Are you drawn to a quiet spot nestled under the trees? Are you wandering to the shallow waters, ready to hear it trickle in the background? Inhale and connect with your breath. Hold. Breathe out and release any tension in your neck and jaw. Let your breath sink deep towards the ground, letting go of all effort and tension in your muscles. Take a deep, mindful breath in. Hold. As you exhale, feel your body let go of the stress of your week. Be gentle and mindful here as you inhale. While you hold your breath, listen to your body and stay in the moment. As you breathe out, let go of thoughts about your day and become fully present in your mindful green space. Now you've explored the space, find yourself a spot to sit down. Get comfortable. What can you feel around you? Take a deep breath and feel the space around you transform. Embrace the nearby sounds, from the rustle and the crunch of the leaves to the bird song, to the faint sound of water in the distance. Find your body relax as you breathe, focusing on the rhythm of your heart and the stillness around you. Breath by breath, your body and mind are becoming more relaxed. Feel all the heavy energy melting away as you exhale. Embrace the air around you as you breathe in deeply. Hold. Soften your shoulders and neck as you breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Let's take time to set intentions for today. Ask yourself, what does rest look like to you? Is it a place? Is it an activity? Is it somewhere you haven't been yet? Is it a bright space or is it moody and dark? Take your imagination to where rest lies. Soak it up. Feel your body relax as the weight of everything else dissolves around you. In this space, nothing else is asked of you but the steady, deep breathing of your body. Now ask yourself, how can you find this place again? When will you next take the time to pause? Take a big, mindful breath in. Hold. Breathe out and feel your body relax. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale and feel your body release. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Let your breathing return to normal. Now bring yourself slowly back into the room you're in now, but keep your eyes closed. Notice one thing you can taste. Notice two things you can smell. Notice three things that you can hear. Notice four things that you can feel. And finally, return to the room and open your eyes if you can. Notice five things that you can see. Look around you and become aware of your environment. Take one last deep breath in. And release.
Hi everyone. Don't know who else needed that as much as I did. But I hope that was a welcomed bit of applause. Yes, I feel the same. I appreciate that too. I hear you. I feel the same. Thank you so much for everyone being here, and I hope that was really welcomed as well. So I hope you're all a bit rested because we've got a bit of movement coming up. What I would love for us to do is, I don't know if people notice, there's going to be little mini disposables around the room in a little like cardboard. Can you just hold up what you just had? Yeah, can anyone see one of those on their rows near them? Oh, we've got another. If you can find one, you go, oh, what people are finding them. Okay, so once you, for those who do have the disposables, feel free to capture on them, and then for the next prompt, pass it on to someone else. Would love to see it go around the room. But then also would love to say that, again, remembering that is to act looking closely and kind of use it as a playful way to go around when I give you the prompts. And then also keep in mind there's no right or wrong way. They are actually designed to make you think, but not that hard, so feel free to just go for gut, really, truly. And then we come back together, basically, because I would love for us to have some time in between each one, because I've got some questions that will allow us to maybe reflect and also to share stories and memories together. And yeah, without further ado, does anyone have any questions about what you're actually meant to do? Yeah? Do you have a question? No? Yeah? Was that a nod behind you, though? Oh, amazing. Love that. Do you behind you? Is that a nod to?
Yeah, I'm waiting for instructions.
Oh, okay, you're waiting for the prompt, right? You love that. You're ready. Okay, wonderful energy. Right, so, and for those who have a disposable camera, of course, phones, anything you've got to capture, love that. The first prompt is, I love to hear the wind. Take a photo of 3 things that are green and represent a leaf but isn't a leaf. I don't want to come back. But yeah. Oh, sorry, you've got a minute. Yeah. Yes, you can. No worries. Yeah, go ahead. Got about 10, 15 more seconds. Wow. Yeah, of course you can. If I give them a little quick clue for this one. Okay, and if you've taken something, can you come now back to your seats, please? Okay. How did we all find the first prompt? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Generally, few nods. Yeah. I'm very aware the room we're in is quite limited, which I feel like is going to be an extra challenge, but in a fun way. So I've designed that in mind, but feel free to, just be a bit playful with it, basically. But I've got a question. What is your first memory of you in the outdoors? Your very first one. If you can't remember that one, we'll take the soonest one you've got, really, truly.
And if you're joining us from the live stream, that is available for you to answer on Slido as well.
Yes, thank you. Anyone want to share? Oh, we got our first one. Thank you, Farah. If you could say your pronouns at the start as well, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's Adea. My pronouns are she, her. So my first memory in nature is in my garden. I was really lucky to have a garden when I was younger, and it was quite big as well. And I had a pond, and I fell in the pond on my bicycle, and this made my little sister fearful for me to ever be on a bicycle again. So I would try and ride my bike, and she would just sit on the wheel, on the front wheel, crying no, don't, you're gonna fall into the pond, which is a foot deep. It was really fine. But yeah, it was just really nice. I spent a lot of time in the garden because phones and stuff wasn't really a thing then. So yeah, and conker trees.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing. Also, first one, thank you. Very brave. Appreciate that. Has anyone else got their first memory of them in the outdoors? Oh, there we go.
Hi, my name's Beth, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm from Yorkshire, so I'm very lucky to have access to lots of green spaces, but when I was little, there used to be this place called Esholt Farm, which was a children's farm that they opened up in the summer, and I remember holding a baby chick and being absolutely terrified that I was going to break it. And then I also remember going through, they had a little ones hay bale maze where you got in and got lost, but I lost my Polly Pocket in it and I was absolutely heartbroken. But apparently it's closed down, and now it's people are trying to connect stories about this farm.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. And I love that you had that experience as well. Minus the Polly Pocket, because that's actually really emotional. I'm so sorry about that.
We've got an anonymous one on Slido. Thank you for whoever it was. In a garden in the summertime, playing under a huge spruce tree. Which sounds lovely. I can smell that,
I love that. Conjuring up more smells and feelings. Exactly.
Yes, and we've got one more. Swinging from the porch in our back garden in North Wales with pine trees at the bottom. Another good smelly memory.
Thank you so much for sharing as well. Thank you. We've got another prompt. Would love you to take a photo of something that is wet but isn't water. I know. You open up your tears.
While you're doing that, I'll read out some more of the prompts that are coming through. Thank you for everyone.
You have
doing
that on
this.
minute.
Yes.
And I appreciate that this might be particularly hard because we are based, but I'll have you. You can be creative. Water can be found in many things. I do want to give some clues, but there are windows which do have clouds. There are anti-bac stuff around. And we have a mouth. There we go. Again.
My star sign is a watery star sign.
Honestly, there's no right or wrong way.
So we've got another first memory of the outdoors, sitting on a blanket in our shared garden. We lived in an upstairs flat. There was an orange plastic biscuit tin, and I remember the sunshine on my face. Oh, that makes me feel nice and warm.
You conjured up such a beautiful story. I really felt
Thank you,
that.
everyone
And you
who's
read it
sending
so
these
well. Okay, I feel like most people have come back into the room, so I might just quickly go on to the next question, which is, how have the green spaces you've grown up in all around changed over time?
Again, for anyone on Slido, that's launched for you to respond to now as well.
Perfect. Anyone got any memories of their green spaces and how it has or hasn't changed? Oh, we've got someone just in the back over there.
Let's not film me running around like this.
I'm Laura and my pronouns are she, her. It's actually a positive one, but the area I grew up in, which is pretty suburban, has, the normal grass verges, and actually more recently I think the council have got into a bit of sort of rewilding, so they've got, they cut them less often, so they've got longer and more wildflowers and things like that, so that's a nice
Love
one.
that. Yes, no, positive news is welcomed here.
We don't have positive ones about how green space has changed.
Thank you. Thanks so much for sharing. And we've got another one. Please go ahead.
So I'm Dan, he, him. So I used to go to this park opposite my house, and it was huge. And then I went back there 20 years later, and it was really small. So that's what's changed.
I appreciate that too. I feel like that happens all the time, and not even just because things are massive when you're a kid. Like, they do, the size of it, I'm sure, has definitely shrunk in general. So yeah, but thank you for sharing that too. Do you have any? Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's this big park, probably one of the biggest across from my place in Istanbul, and I used to go running there all the time, and there was about a year where I couldn't go because they were sort of, digging it up, doing what looked like quite horrible things to it, and they ended up really kind of manicuring it, putting this fake river, and the irony of that is that actually a lot more people use it and are going to these trees. So even though to me it felt like kind of a really destructive thing, it was kind of that controversy for me in a city where the more manicured it was actually then more accessible.
Thank you for sharing that as well.
Thank you. That sucks. I have, a similar story. I grew up, my house used to back onto Summerfield Park, which is 15 minutes away from here. And I used to make like the mud kitchen, like stuff with like stones and mud and dandelions and all this stuff. And I went back there recently, and it's like really pristine and immaculate and like well tended to. And we had an artist in residence stay with us over the summer, and they did some work, Renee Bracey Francis, and they said that it's because of the amount of pesticides that the council are using in our local public parks, particularly in inner cities, and it leads to nothing can grow, and they found this out because they lay on the grass and they stood up and they had a rash all over their body. So it's led me down this whole rabbit hole that's looking at pesticide use in our public parks.
Although that's such a dark way to have got there, I love that you've utilised that as a tool to empower yourself with knowledge, and I love that. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. We've got one come through from Slido from Alice. I've recently returned to where I grew up in rural East Anglia. It is less wild now. There are less insects and birds, and there are a lot more fences and big off-putting gates. Don't want any of those.
No. Also, sadly, again, not surprised. Unfortunately, I feel like green spaces are continuously inaccessible and grow to be more and more so. So when I hear positive news stories, I'm like, I welcome them, because I think often we're inundated with the opposite of that. I know we started later today, and it's massively cut the time we had for this. So I'm just wondering, do we have time for another combo, or do we have to wrap it up?
No, we've got time.
Okay, we got time. Okay, in that case then, I'll give you all the power Do you want combo number 3 or combo number 4? I don't know how the decision making. I don't know what was going to come from this.
All right. Hands up for 3.
Yes. Okay.
Hands up for 4.
Oh, wow. Okay,
I can see
4.
what it is, so I'm done.
4 it is, wow. Appreciate all of y'all. So, point number 4 is, nature comes in all kinds of size and shapes. Take photo of 3 fins with curved shapes. Again, you have a minute for this. And yeah, do remember to pass around the disposable cameras as well, please.
And again, whilst you're all doing that, we have one more response. Oh, no. The huge spruce tree I played under has been cut down. Oh. The forest around the garden has been logged. A few trees have died due to drought. There are fewer insects and birds, which feels utterly saddening and worrying. Oh, no. Nice. I liked the spruce story.
I know. Suddenly. A twist. Oh. Thank you for reading that out as well.
I think... Ooh, and one more from Annie. I live in Barcelona, and because of mass tourism, beautiful parks that used to be accessible aren't anymore. They are gorgeous, though, but you have to pay to see them. Nature should never be charged for.
Absolutely not. It's crazy, honestly, when you think about how we got here, where you pay to see something that grows naturally in this world that we're all entitled to. But that's for another day.
Like, money literally grows on trees.
The irony goes above us. I can't. But we've all gathered. Thank you again. I hope that was a little random fun adventure there. Quite a lot of curved shapes here, so I think that might have been a bit nicer for you than the water one. Sorry about that. And so, what are the greatest needs you're seeing in your community, and what would you like to see more of happen?
Again, that's just launched on Slido. I'm really loving all of the suggestions and stories and lovely bits coming through, so keep them coming. It's fast. Greatest needs for your community. Come on, you've all got ideas what you want.
Oh, I got one. Amazing.
Thank you. My name's Anastasia. I guess the thing that I want to see, I just moved to a new house like a month ago, but I was going to say is more community. So maybe there is maybe all my neighbors know each other and I just don't know them yet. But equally, I don't think they do. So I keep thinking maybe I can get away with drawing on my American heritage to go knock on all of their doors with some cookies and hi, I'm your new neighbor. Just to have that community feel. Although the house next to me, we're friendly, but.
Yeah, well, power to you. Create that space. I hope it goes well for you. I hope you have lovely neighbours.
When I first moved to London, I didn't know how to cook just for myself, so my neighbours got a lot of curry.
That sounds like my kind of neighbour.
I'm a local councillor, and I have to say the biggest need that I'm getting is around housing, homelessness, overcrowding. What I'm hoping I can bring as an opportunity is I'm also a housing activist outside of that. And I'm a member of a tenants union, which is all about collective disputes. So about how to put, to bring power to the people who are tenants, because the power currently exists with the landlords.
Love the work you do, and thank you for the work you do.
Don't get me started on landlords.
Oh yeah, I've got another one. Oh yeah, do you have any from Slido?
Then we've got a couple on Slido.
Oh, okay, and then we can wrap. Yeah, perfect.
Food is a great need. Someone recently was around my house who was talking about her struggles with she's trying to find more work and she can't afford to feed her daughter, and it really hit home that this is going to be a really tough winter. So there are some food growing initiatives down my road in the park, and we're doing what we can in the garden. So I just grabbed as many pieces of kale as I could, and made a bundle for her. But I can really see that for many people there isn't access to space to grow, and so seeing the need for sharing and making for each other, as has been said already. So food is needed.
Absolutely, I couldn't have agreed more, and I think it's so powerful recognising that we live in a society where I think COVID's shown us really like we have the government we have, and community was a big factor for people navigating that time, and I do feel like we shouldn't have to lean on these spaces in the same way when we have the government we have and the wealth we have. But yeah, I think it's more power to you, and thank you for sharing that as well.
Thank you. It's going to be very difficult for a lot of us, but this is why we build community together.
Absolutely.
A couple of lovely offerings from Slido. From Alice, better connecting to those... better connecting to those who are rurally isolated and enabling them to have more say in the future of the area. John from House Theatre says, a space for talks, debates and knowledge sharing, the ability to learn from each other's experiences. It's beautiful. Catherine Peters says, health and food. I want to see more local growing, cooking skills shared between communities. And Annie says, on the bright side, there are loads of community gardens that bring the community together, so more of that. A lot of those have just been spaces claimed by community eco-guerrilla style.
Wow. A lot of inspiring food for thought, and I think honestly just the action people are doing these days, it's just, I'll say these days, have historically been doing and are still doing, really inspires and empowers me, and I hope just hearing some of each other's stories today has brought some lightness, has brought some playfulness, or even just some energizingness across, again, a period and a myriad of things going on in this world right now. And this was a taster, like I said earlier. These sessions, I hope, would normally allow for more conversations, more prompts, more dialogue, but also just more time for play. And so really welcome all of you, and thank you so much for being here. I'm Emma Blake Morsi. I'm Blake Morsi online, and you can catch more of my stuff there. I do these workshops for organisations. If anyone actually wants to experience the full one, do hit me up. Website's emmablakeMorsi.co.uk. But yeah, if you captured photos today and you want to get at me, my @ is Blake Morsi, so I would love to see the random shit you took photos of, like, definitely do. And I'm going to develop these photos too. I do them on different workshops I do, so I eventually develop them and I'll put them online again, so you can see more of those as well. But thank you so much, and I'll pass back on to Farah.
I needed that session as much as anybody else. Thank you so much, Emma. That was so lovely. I really loved the soundscape at the start, even though I was also like one eye open texting. I'm not sure that's how it's meant to be done. What we'll do is we'll keep the Slido with that last prompt about what you want to see for your communities. We'll keep that open. So if there's more that you want to add, please do. It would be really lovely to collect them all and to share them with you all after the event. So yeah, thank you for the generous prompting and provocations and gentle bits, and I can't wait to see these disposable camera bits. Right, so we're going to go into a tea break. We all want a cup of tea and have some chit-chats with one another. After the break, which will go on until 25 to whatever time we're at. I've lost the plot, sorry. We will all go back into the studio where we're going to hear a keynote from Salim Ul-Haq, and we'll be doing a bit of the collective imagining together with using your endangered culture cards. Please do, over the break, take the time to look at the prompts that you'll be able to access on your QR code. Think about the endangered culture thing that you have, and really think about what it means to look after and protect, and not just that, regenerate and love that animal or place or land or whatever it is that you've got. Oh, I'm ready for a nap. Thank you so much. Once again, a hand for Emma.